Okay, so if you're running a retail business today, you know the feeling, that sort of daily struggle, right? Trying to
Yeah.
manage the chaos across your actual physical stores and your online platforms. It's that moment. The customer's waiting, maybe five deep at the cash register, but your website, it's promising an item is right there, ready to go.
Mhm.
And then you look, and it's just nowhere,
Mm.
vanished.
Yeah, that's the classic disconnect. It's that huge logistical friction. When your inventory systems, your pricing, even your promos, they just aren't talking to each other. They're not unified.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into this really comprehensive retail guide. Think of it as a practical playbook. It's designed to take that kind of daily operational mess and turn it into what the source calls, maybe a bit optimistically, a well-oiled profit-making machine.
Well, our mission here is really to pull out the universal strategies from this guide. It acts like a retail sidekick, full of best practices. But what makes it unique, I think, is that every single piece of advice, whether it's about, say, unified inventory or protecting your margins, it's immediately mapped to a real-world implementation method. So the advice is directly tied to action.
Okay, good. But before we jump into the strategy, the nuts and bolts, maybe a quick note on the tech that's mentioned in the guide. It's ACCEO Retail Solutions. It's written in all caps, ACCEO, but
Yeah.
just so we're clear, it's pronounced Axio, AXEO.
Right. And if we mention Law Division, that's Logivision. Logivision.
Got it. Axio and Logivision.
Mm.
And this is the technology the guide uses to kind of demonstrate its points.
Exactly. And understanding their sort of family of solutions is pretty key because they really do target specific retail pain points. You've got three main systems serving different kinds of retailers. First up, there's Smart Vendor. Think of this as the sturdy backbone for your small to medium-sized places, specialty shops, boutiques, single-location businesses. It's really good at real-time inventory, got a rock-solid point of sale, and features that automate some of that, grunt work, like automatic stock ordering, using EDI for easier reorders, and handheld data collectors for doing stock counts fast and accurately.
Okay, that makes sense for the smaller guys. Then what?
Then you have Logivision. Now, this one is really built for high volume. Speed at the checkout is literally margin for these places. Think grocery stores, supermarkets, big liquor stores. They focus hard on multi-lane speed, accuracy, and handling tricky stuff like perishables using FIFO, first in, first out.
FIFO, right? Got to track those dates.
You do. And Law Division also includes this crucial back office system called LBOS. That's the Law Division back office support system. That's the hub, really, where all the centralized product info and pricing gets managed, making sure every single checkout lane is working off the same data. Consistency.
Okay, Smart Vendor for SMEs, Logivision for high volume. What's the third one?
That's Retail One. This is the big one, the Enterprise Command Center. It's for your multi-location businesses, your large chains that need full centralized omni-channel control. This is where you get the really sophisticated tools like business intelligence dashboards, store traffic monitoring, that kind of thing.
Okay, so let's say a retailer is mid-sized, maybe using Smart Vendor now. What's the trigger? What makes them need to step up to Logivision or Retail One? Is it just hitting a certain sales volume, or is it more about complexity, like needing that FIFO tracking you mentioned?
It's usually a mix of both, but complexity, that's often the killer. If you hit a transaction volume where you absolutely need that multi-lane speed, or, if your product mix demands specific tracking like FIFO for fresh stuff, Smart Vendor might start to feel stretched. Retail One really becomes necessary when you're talking multiple stores, maybe across regions, and you need that true enterprise view, linking the warehouse to all the storefronts, getting those detailed BI dashboards to compare how different stores are performing side by side.
Right, so it's moving from managing one store well to managing a whole network efficiently.
Exactly. And that level of management really starts with basic math. The guide actually spends a good bit of time on retail math fundamentals, making sure you're not just, flying blind.
Yeah, and the most common mix-up seems to be markup versus margin. Like the example, buy for $50, sell for $100. That's 100% markup, easy enough. But the actual profit percentage on the sale, that's your margin, which is 50%. And if you set promotions just looking at markup,
Oh, yeah. You can crush your margins without realizing it. The guide really hammers this home. You have to know your margin to price things confidently, especially during sales.
And what's interesting, too, is how these modern systems help plug those classic retail leaks, like shrinkage.
Yes. Shrinkage, theft, damage, errors. basically inventory disappearing. The industry average is somewhere around, what, 1.4% of sales?
That sounds about right.
And the source really emphasizes that using tools with detailed audit trails, discrepancy reports, that's pretty much the only way you can actually track it properly and then start to plug that leak. You can't fix what you can't see.
Good point. And if there's one metric listeners should really remember from this part, you think it's GMROI.
Absolutely. GMROI, gross margin return on investment. Basically, how much profit are you making for every dollar you tie up in inventory? If your GMROI is, say, 3.0, you're making $3 profit for every $1 you spent stocking that specific item. If you don't know this number, how can you possibly decide what to reorder rationally?
You're just guessing.
Pretty much. And the guide shows how something like Retail One's BI dashboards become critical for visualizing this, especially when you've got thousands of SKUs to track.
Okay, so having that detailed data leads us right into the first big play the guide talks about, getting omnichannel and flexible fulfillment right.
Exactly. And the strategic heart of this, it's unified inventory. It sounds simple, but it's everything. If your in-store system and your online system aren't constantly, and I mean constantly, talking to each other, you immediately run into problems, big problems.
Like what?
Well, you either oversell, you promise stock online that someone literally just bought in the store 5 minutes ago, or you undersell. You've got perfectly good stock sitting in the back room, but it's not listed online, so nobody knows it's available.
Right. That consistency is absolutely paramount.
Totally.
And the source gives specific examples of how these systems achieve that. Like Smart Vendor, using something called the Octopus Bridge to sync inventory in real time with, like Shopify or WooCommerce.
Yeah, and on the enterprise side, Retail One makes sure that the central pricing and stock levels are the same everywhere, across every channel. It really embodies that idea of one inventory, one source of truth.
And having that unified inventory is what actually makes flexible fulfillment possible, right?
Yeah.
Which customers, let's be honest, now basically expect as standard. We're talking BOPIS.
Buy online, pick up in store. Yeah, huge for driving foot traffic.
And also BORIS.
Yeah.
Buy online, return in store.
BORIS is great, not just for building trust, making returns easy, but the guide points out it's also a really powerful upsell opportunity. Think about it. The customer is physically in your store returning something. Your staff has this perfect low-pressure chance to turn that return into an exchange or maybe even a brand new sale.
That's a good point. But doesn't BOPIS, and maybe BORIS even more so, put a huge strain on the store staff? Training, potential friction at the counter. You need that execution to be absolutely seamless. Otherwise, you turn a happy BOPIS customer into someone really frustrated waiting around. How does the guide suggest minimizing that friction?
That's a really sharp question. The friction is definitely real. And the source hammers on staff training, yes, but also really clear role-based workflows. Automation is the goal. LodgeVision's LBOS back office, for example, is key here. It makes sure all the product info, like where the item was originally bought, the correct price for the return, it's all instantly visible and consistent across every lane, every channel. That helps prevent arguments and delays right there at the counter.
Okay, so the system itself helps smooth things out.
Exactly. And for the Retail One users, they get the endless aisle feature, which is pretty brilliant, actually. It lets staff or even the customers themselves order items that aren't physically in that specific store right now, but are available somewhere else in the network, another store, the main warehouse, maybe even from supplier catalogs directly.
Wow, so it basically turns every counter into a full-service fulfillment point.
You got it. No more lost sales just because that size or color isn't on the shelf today.
That level of control, that strategic thinking, it leads us straight into big play number 2, promotions that actually protect your margin.
Yes. Because the most common retail mistake, honestly, is just throwing random discounts out there and kind of hoping for the best. Slashing prices isn't a strategy. The guide is really insistent. Promotions must start with a clear objective. What are you actually trying to achieve? Clear out slow-moving stock, drive traffic on a typically slow Tuesday, boost the average basket size, reward your loyal customers.
Okay, objective first. Then you pick the mechanic.
Right. Percentage off, BOGO, buy one, get one, bundle pricing, maybe loyalty point multipliers, the usual suspects.
But what's interesting isn't just the basics, it's the level of complexity available. The source mentions that systems like Retail One can support over 19 different customizable, stackable, rule-based promotions. 19? Why so many? Doesn't that just risk confusing everybody or accidentally giving away the farm with stacked discounts?
Huh. It sounds like a lot, I know. But that level of customization is actually what prevents accidental margin loss. You use those rules to stop discounts stacking up in ways that eat all your profit. You can run really sophisticated campaigns like get 15% off shoes, but only if you spend $100 on apparel first. Or buy 2 sweaters, get the third 50% off, excluding clearance.
Ah, okay. So the rules protect the margin.
Precisely. And the ability to schedule promotions with exact start and end times, which, by the way, all the ACCO systems support, that's non-negotiable for protecting margin. It stops that classic problem where a sale price accidentally runs into the next morning because someone forgot to switch it off.
Right. Plus, the systems help with visibility, too. Yeah. Like
Yes.
Smart Vendor having a digital signage module that updates instantly. Perfect for those short, sharp flash sales.
Exactly. But the absolute key takeaway here, the bottom line, measurement. You have to track sales lift versus margin impact. If you boost your sales volume by 20%, great. But if your margin dropped by 25% to get there, well, you're basically just training your customers to wait for a sale.
Ouch.
The systems have to help you ensure the promotion is actually earning profit, not just cutting the price tag.
Which leads us perfectly into big play number 3. Making decisions without guessing. The guide basically says, stop drowning in data noise. Focus on 5 specific reports that drive actionable, profitable decisions.
Yeah, this should become like a weekly ritual for any store manager. Report number 1, the daily sales report. And this isn't just about the total cash in the drawer. It needs to track performance instantly by cashier, by department, by category. The implication is immediate action. Smart Vendor's daily dashboard or Logivision's lane reports should tell you right away who your top performers are today and which departments might be lagging.
Okay, daily sales. What's number 2?
Report 2 is the inventory performance report. This is absolutely vital for buying smarter, moving away from just hopeful ordering to really data-driven purchasing. We're talking key metrics like sell-through rate, how fast stuff is actually moving off the shelves, and that GMROI we talked about earlier.
Right, gross margin return on investment.
Yep. Retail One's BI dashboards really help visualize this, showing you what needs an immediate reorder and what, frankly, needs a markdown to clear it out. And Logivision specifically helps grocers here with inventory aging reports for perishables. You got to move that fresh stuff.
Makes sense. Report 3.
Report 3. The promotion effectiveness report. You just ran that VO Go sale. Well, did it actually work? You need to know the ROI. This report measures the sales lift, sure, but also things like average basket size during the promo and maybe repeat visits. This feedback loop tells you exactly which campaigns and which mechanics are worth repeating and which ones were. Well, duds.
Okay, learn from your promotions. Number 4.
Report 4 is the customer loyalty report. Who are your best customers? Not just who spends the most overall, but who shops frequently. What do they typically buy? Smart Vendor's loyalty program reports are key here. They let you personalize offers beyond just a generic 10% off. You can tailor something based on their actual purchase history. Much more effective.
Yeah, personalization is huge. Okay, last one. Report 5.
And finally, Report 5, the staff performance report. Tracking individual sales performance, sure, but also success at upselling or cross-selling. Retail One can even track specific staff KPIs. The goal here is actionable HR, really. Use this data to spot training needs or maybe reward your top performers with better shifts or bonuses.
So the ultimate goal with all these reports isn't just to look at numbers, it's to turn that data into real, tangible, operational action. Like using the traffic data you get from Retail One to schedule your staff properly, aligning them with when customers are actually in the store.
Exactly. Or using those sell-through rates to guide your buying stocking up based on proven customer demand, not just hope or what the supplier is pushing this week.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's quickly touch on the money side of things. Investing in these kinds of systems, it's not just the initial price tag, is it?
Not at all. The source guides you to look at the total cost of ownership, or TCO. That includes the hardware, the software licenses, ongoing support contracts, training for your staff, any integrations you might need. It all adds up.
Right. But then you also have to quantify the flip side, the cost of doing nothing, right? Sticking with outdated or inefficient systems.
Oh, absolutely. That's the hidden money drain. Think about just one stock out of a really popular item, how many loyal customers might go to a competitor that day. Think about the slow accumulated losses from manual entry errors, or just the sheer time your staff wastes wrestling with slow, clunky checkout lanes instead of helping customers.
Yeah, those hidden costs can be massive. So you need to review your ROI maybe annually to make sure the system's benefits like faster checkouts, fewer stockouts because of automated inventory are genuinely paying for themselves.
Definitely. And one last quick point on security. Data is absolute gold in retail and compliance.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable. Both Smart Vendor and Retail One really emphasize features like PCI DSS compliance for secure payments, obviously, but also crucial things like role-based permissions, meaning you control exactly who can do what, who's allowed to process returns or void transactions. That helps prevent internal fraud. Plus, detailed audit trails track every single action in the system. Accountability.
Got it. Security is key. Okay, so that was a lot of ground covered. What does this all mean for you, the listener, like right now, today? Let's distill it down to a quick do this today list straight from the playbook to start optimizing your store immediately.
Okay, good idea. Action number 1, go pull the sell-through rates on, say, 5 of your slowest moving SKUs, 5 items that just seem to sit there. Use that actual data to decide right now. Should you reorder them, maybe in smaller quantities, or is it time for a calculated markdown to just get them gone?
Okay, tackle the slow movers. Action 2.
Action 2, confirm your price and return policy parity. Like physically walk over to your register, then open your store's website on your phone. Check. Is the price for the same item identical? Are the rules for returns exactly the same online and in-store? Inconsistency here. It kills customer trust faster than almost anything else.
Good one. Check for consistency. And action 3.
Action 3. If you offer BOPIS or BORIS buy online, pick up, return in-store, grab a product off the shelf, and actually dry run the entire process with your staff at the counter. Walk through, finding the order, scanning it, maybe processing the return, handing off the item. Make sure there's zero friction or confusion for the customer standing there. Practice makes perfect.
Okay, check sell-through, verify parity, dry run fulfillment. Solid advice. And don't forget, the guide also mentions 2 printable resources in its appendices that sound really useful. A daily store operations checklist and an omni-channel readiness quick check. Simple tools, but potentially powerful accelerators.
Definitely worth printing out. So the final provocative thought we want to leave you with kind of ties everything back to being data-driven. The next frontier in retail, it isn't just knowing what you sold yesterday. It's using those BI dashboards, those detailed lane reports, to precisely map out your seasonal peaks, your event-based selling patterns. It's about ensuring your staffing levels and your stock are perfectly aligned, not just with the day of the week, but with real, actual, moment-to-moment customer traffic patterns. It's about predicting the flow, not just getting hit by the wave.
Predicting the flow. I like that.
Yeah.
A great place to end. Until next time, keep optimizing that retail flow.